this might surprise you, but there is a reason I held my feelings back for so long, and I want you to understand why. I chose silence over speaking not because I did not care, nor because I failed to notice you in the many ways a heart can notice someone, but because I admired you more deeply than I could ever express. That admiration, though quiet, came with a weight, a fear that to speak might be to disrupt something delicate, something precious. I feared saying the wrong words. I feared revealing a vulnerability I was not yet ready to bear, and I feared disturbing the balance of your own world. My silence was not emptiness, it was a careful, deliberate choice, a way of guarding the moments we had yet to share. Each day, I found myself replaying countless imagined conversations in my mind, rehearsing words that might capture even a fraction of what I felt for you. But always, I ended with hesitation. The risk of saying too little, or worse, saying too much, held me back. I convinced myself that remaining quiet was the nobler path, a way to protect both you and myself from the consequences of impulsive words. I wanted to honor your peace, your space, your life as it unfolded naturally, and yet every moment of quiet was also filled with longing, with a heartbeat that wished to leap into speech but restrained itself for a reason I now understand more clearly. You might wonder why I waited so long. The truth is, I did not want to rush into words that could not fully convey the depth of my admiration and care for you. I wanted to be certain that my feelings were not fleeting, not transient. I wanted them to be enduring, steadfast, and true. Every glance, every thought, every quiet observation of you became a testament to the love I carried silently. I admired your strength, your kindness, the effortless way you moved through the world, and I wanted to ensure that my declaration of affection would honor all that you are, without diminishing or distorting it in haste. To be silent is not always a sign of weakness or fear. Sometimes it is the most sincere form of devotion. I chose silence to reflect, to prepare, and to cultivate the courage I would one day need to speak honestly, with clarity, with the full measure of my heart behind every word. My restraint was not indifference, it was patience, a form of reverence for something I hoped would be lasting, meaningful, and true. I needed time to understand my own heart, to ensure that what I offered you would be the best of myself, unshakable and unwavering. I cannot deny that holding back was difficult. There were moments when my chest ached with words I could not speak, moments when every instinct told me to confess and reveal the silent fire I had nurtured for so long. And yet, even in the struggle, I believed that timing mattered more than impulse. Love, I realized, is not only in the words we speak but in the care with which we cultivate them, the thoughtfulness with which we present them to someone we treasure. I needed time to ensure that when I finally spoke, my words would carry the weight of certainty, the resonance of truth, and the sincerity of a heart wholly committed to you. It is strange, perhaps, to think that silence can be so loud, and yet, in every quiet moment, in every unspoken prayer and every glance kept to myself, my devotion was there. I wanted you to flourish, to shine, without feeling the pressure of my presence upon your world. I remained quiet because I wanted to support you, not to burden you, because I wished to honor you, not to demand attention. Every small gesture, every thoughtful consideration, every act of care I offered silently was my way of speaking without words. A language of love that I hoped you would feel even if you could not hear it. Now, after so long, I feel the weight of this quiet beginning to lift. My heart, once restrained by caution and reverence, is ready to speak. I am ready to tell you everything I have held inside, everything I have nurtured in the stillness of patience and reflection. I am ready to let you know that my silence was never empty, never careless, but rather a preparation for the moment when I could truly honor you with my words. This is that moment. I understand now that my hesitation, my deliberate restraint, was not a failing, it was an act of love. I wanted my confession to be worthy of you, worthy of the depth of the admiration and care I hold in my heart. I wanted it to be unambiguous, steadfast, and sincere. To speak too soon, to rush the natural unfolding of this feeling, would have been to risk diminishing it, to risk offering you something incomplete. And so I waited, believing that you, in your quiet strength and grace, deserved nothing less than the fullness of my devotion. Every silent thought of you, every private longing, every moment of reflection, was a rehearsal for this truth I am finally ready to offer. You may wonder if silence can truly communicate love, and I tell you that it can, in ways words sometimes cannot. It speaks of respect, patience, and the unspoken understanding that some things are too precious to be treated lightly. It carries the weight of consideration, the tenderness of restraint, and the quiet intensity of a heart wholly invested. I waited not because I feared, but because I revered the depth of feeling I knew I held for you, and I wanted to offer it to you fully, without hesitation, without compromise. Even as I remained quiet, my heart never ceased to speak in its own language, a language composed of longing glances, subtle gestures, and the silent hope that you might somehow feel what I felt without it needing to be said aloud. I watched you, always with admiration, noticing the way you carried yourself, the warmth in your laughter, the way your presence could make the ordinary feel extraordinary. Every detail, every nuance of who you are, was etched into my heart, and I wanted so deeply to honor it by waiting until the moment I could truly do justice to my feelings. You might think that keeping silent for so long was a burden to me, but in truth, it was a form of devotion. It required patience, yes, but it also required courage, the courage to contain a love so large it often threatened to escape in moments of weakness. Each day I wrestled with the urge to speak, each night I rehearsed countless words, imagined countless outcomes, and yet, time and again, I chose restraint. I told myself that it was better to prepare, to grow, and to understand my heart fully before placing my vulnerability in your hands. For to love someone as profoundly as I love you is not something to approach lightly. It demands reflection, care, and a readiness to honor the one you love with the entirety of yourself. There were times when the silence felt almost unbearable, when I feared that keeping my heart restrained might cause it to break under its own weight. But even in those moments, I clung to the knowledge that love is not only measured by words, but by the steadfastness of intention, the constancy of thought, and the depth of feeling that underlies every quiet act of devotion. I wanted to ensure that when I finally spoke, my words would resonate with truth, sincerity, and the unwavering commitment of a heart that had learned to wait with patience and grace. In those quiet hours, I reflected not only on my feelings for you but also on the nature of love itself. I came to understand that love is not always a declaration, but often a preparation, a cultivation of a readiness to offer oneself fully without reservation. I needed to grow, to become a person worthy of the affection I felt for you, so that when the time came, my expression of love would be more than fleeting words. It would be an embodiment of devotion, respect, and a promise of constancy. I know that some may see silence as hesitation, or even as fear, but I assure you, it was never that for me. My quiet was a conscious choice, born not of doubt but of reverence for the depth of what I felt. I wanted to be sure of my intentions, sure of my readiness, and most importantly, sure that I could honor you in every way my heart had hoped. I did not want to risk offering something incomplete or imperfect, because you, in your extraordinary presence, deserved nothing less than the fullest measure of my affection and sincerity. There were countless moments when I wished I could speak, when the ache of my heart made the silence almost unbearable, and yet, even then, I understood the value of waiting, for love, true love, is not measured by urgency but by the integrity of its expression. I wanted to ensure that when I finally revealed the depths of my heart to you, there would be no hesitation, only clarity, truth, and an unwavering devotion that had been nurtured carefully and patiently over time. Every gesture, every small act of care I offered in silence was my way of speaking when words were inadequate. From a smile shared in passing to a thought held in quiet reflection, I sought to convey my love in ways that transcended language. I hoped that even without hearing the words, you might sense the constancy of my devotion, the tenderness with which I regarded you, and the depth of admiration that had grown quietly but powerfully within me. I also remained silent because I wanted to respect your own space, your own life, and your own journey. I did not wish to impose upon you or to risk disrupting the natural course of your world with words that might be ill-timed or premature. True love, I realized, is not only about expression but about respect. The willingness to honor the other's freedom, the understanding that a heart cannot be rushed, and the patience to wait until both hearts are ready to meet fully and sincerely. As time passed, my quiet became not a burden but a companion, a space in which I could reflect on the profundity of my feelings and the sincerity of my intentions. I thought often about what it meant to love someone truly, and I understood that sometimes silence is the most powerful expression of all. It allows a heart to grow in understanding, to cultivate patience, and to prepare for the moment when words will finally carry the weight they must. I want you to know that every silent thought of you was a testament to the depth of my care. Every unspoken prayer for your happiness, every private wish for your well-being, was a way of demonstrating the love that filled my heart even when I could not yet speak it aloud. I waited because I wanted to be worthy of you, because I wanted to ensure that my confession would reflect not only my feelings but my commitment to honor you in every way. You may ask why I could not simply speak sooner, why I allowed time to stretch out between us. And I will tell you, it was not fear that held me back, but reverence. I wanted my words to carry the full weight of what I felt, to be an honest reflection of a heart that had been carefully tending its affection for you over time. I did not want to risk offering anything less than the fullness of myself, for you, in all your extraordinary being, deserved nothing less than truth, sincerity, and unwavering devotion. There were moments when I questioned myself, when I wondered if my silence might be mistaken for indifference or hesitation. And yet, even in doubt, I knew that my quiet was an expression of care, a deliberate and thoughtful pause that allowed my feelings to grow, mature, and strengthen. I understood that to rush into words too soon could diminish the sincerity of what I hoped to convey, and so I waited, trusting that the right time would come, trusting that my love would find its voice in a way worthy of you. I also needed this time to understand myself, to ensure that the love I offered was not only deep but enduring. True affection, I realized, requires self-reflection and growth. It requires a readiness to meet another person fully, without hesitation or reservation. My silence was as much about cultivating my own readiness as it was about honoring you. I wanted to be certain that when I finally spoke, my words would be an accurate reflection of a heart that had learned patience, respect, and the profound responsibility that comes with loving someone as remarkable as you. Even as I remained quiet, my admiration for you never wavered. Every smile, every kind gesture, every small action of yours left an impression upon me, quietly shaping the feelings I held within. I learned to observe with care, to appreciate with intention, and to cultivate a devotion that was as steady as it was silent. I understood that love is not only in the moments we speak, but in the moments we choose to honor, protect, and cherish from afar, until the time is right to share it fully. Now, as I prepare to speak, I want you to know that every day of waiting, every moment of restraint, was filled with purpose. My silence was never emptiness, it was an investment in the truth, a preparation to offer you the kind of love that is patient, sincere, and enduring. I waited so that my words, when they finally come, would be worthy of you and of the heart that has longed for you in quiet devotion. Even in my quiet, there was a constant dialogue within my heart, a conversation of longing, reflection, and hope. I would ask myself over and over whether I was doing the right thing, whether waiting was truly an act of care or simply a fear of vulnerability. And yet, each time, I would return to the same truth that to love you fully, I needed to honor both you and myself by preparing the words, the intention, and the readiness that such a love deserved. Every unspoken thought, every quiet admiration, was part of this preparation, building a foundation of respect, devotion, and unwavering sincerity. I often wondered if you could sense the devotion hidden in my silence. I imagined moments when a glance, a fleeting gesture, or a kind smile might convey something my lips had yet to express. My heart would swell with hope at the thought that even without words, My care for you might shine through in the subtle, unseen ways a person can demonstrate love. I remained quiet, not because I doubted you, but because I revered you, because I wanted to give you the space to exist freely, while still holding you close in thought, in admiration, and in quiet reverence. You might think that love requires constant declarations, but I have learned that it often requires patience, restraint, and the wisdom to know when words will serve their purpose best. My silence was not absence, it was intention. It was my way of crafting a love that would be complete when finally revealed, a love that could honor you in its entirety without the risk of misunderstanding or misstep. I have held back not because I lacked courage, but because I understood the gravity of loving someone as extraordinary as you. There were nights when the quiet seemed unbearable, when the longing in my heart became almost too intense to contain. I would lie awake, imagining the countless ways I might finally speak, rehearsing my words until each syllable felt weighted with truth and meaning. And yet, in every scenario, I held myself back, because I knew that nothing less than authenticity, clarity, and absolute commitment would ever be worthy of what I feel for you. Love, I realized, is not a fleeting impulse, it is a careful, deliberate devotion, cultivated with care and expressed with unwavering sincerity. I think now about the many small moments that passed while I remained silent. The times when your laughter filled a room, the moments when your presence lit up an ordinary day, and the countless ways in which you inspired admiration and affection without ever knowing it. Each of these moments was a thread, weaving a tapestry of admiration and devotion in my heart, a tapestry that I nurtured quietly, patiently, and with profound respect. I wanted my eventual words to reflect not just my feelings, but the depth and richness of all these moments, so that when I finally spoke, my love would be unmistakable, enduring, and wholly sincere. There is a certain courage in silence, I have learned. A courage that comes from the decision to wait, to grow, and to honor the gravity of one's feelings before unveiling them. My silence has been my companion, my teacher, and my testament to the depth of what I feel for you. I have lived in quiet reflection, contemplating not only the nature of my love, but the meaning of commitment, respect, and emotional honesty. And now, having spent so much time preparing, I am ready to let my heart speak fully, openly, and without reservation. I want you to understand that my silence was never meant to create distance. On the contrary, it was a way of drawing you closer in spirit, even when words were absent. Every thoughtful action, every kind thought, every quiet prayer for your happiness was a way of demonstrating my devotion. I hoped that you might sense it, that my care might reach you in ways beyond speech, and that the love I held for you silently might someday be mirrored in your own heart. You might wonder whether it was difficult to remain quiet when my feelings were so strong, and the answer is yes. It was difficult beyond measure. Every fiber of my being longed to speak, to declare the truth of my heart, and yet, I knew that restraint was necessary. I needed to grow, to learn, to prepare myself for the moment when my words could truly capture the depth of my admiration and devotion. I wanted to ensure that when I spoke, it would not be a fleeting confession, but a deliberate, heartfelt expression of a love that had been cultivated carefully and patiently. There were times when I questioned the purpose of my waiting, when I feared that remaining silent might cause my feelings to go unnoticed or misunderstood. And yet, I reminded myself that true love is not measured by immediacy, but by constancy, integrity, and the careful tending of the heart. I trusted that the time would come when I could speak, when my words would be aligned with my intentions, and when the love I had nurtured in silence could be revealed fully and sincerely. Every quiet reflection, every moment of longing, was an act of devotion. I wanted to ensure that when I finally spoke, my words would carry not only emotion, but meaning, purpose, and clarity. I wanted to offer you a love that was not impulsive, but deliberate, not fleeting, but enduring, not incomplete, but wholly authentic. My silence has been a period of growth, introspection, and preparation, ensuring that the love I offer now is worthy of you and the extraordinary person that you are. I also remained quiet because I wanted to protect you from words that might not have been fully formed, emotions that might have been misunderstood, or confessions that might have come too early. Love is a sacred thing, and I wanted to approach it with the reverence it deserves. I needed to be certain that when I finally spoke, my words would reflect a heart that was ready, prepared, and unwavering. I did not wish to risk tarnishing the sincerity of what I feel for you by speaking too soon or too carelessly. Even as I waited, my admiration for you deepened. I watched, I listened, I reflected, and I learned more about the person I cared for so profoundly. In my quiet, I discovered the layers of your character, the subtle ways you inspire, and the quiet strength you carry with such grace. Each discovery made my heart swell, each observation strengthened my devotion, and each silent thought brought me closer to the moment when I could finally speak with clarity, honesty, and love. I want you to know that my silence was never a reflection of doubt or hesitation toward you. It was a reflection of respect, for you, for your world, and for the gravity of my own feelings. I needed time to understand the depth of my heart, to ensure that the love I offered was not only passionate, but enduring, not only sincere, but complete. I wanted to ensure that when I spoke, my words would be worthy of your presence in my life and the profound admiration I have always held for you. Now, as I prepare to move beyond silence, I feel the weight of my restraint transforming into clarity. I am ready to reveal the truth of my heart, to lay bare the emotions I have nurtured quietly for so long, and to offer you the love that has been growing steadily in my heart. I am ready to speak because I have waited, reflected, and prepared, ensuring that every word, every sentiment, and every expression is true, meaningful, and wholly devoted to you. Now the time has come when silence can no longer contain the weight of my heart. I have waited, reflected, and prepared, and I am ready to speak with the honesty, clarity, and devotion that you deserve. Every unspoken thought, every quiet longing, every silent prayer for your happiness has led to this moment. The moment when my heart, once restrained, can finally speak its truth without hesitation. You must understand that my silence was never emptiness. It was a period of reflection, a time to cultivate patience, and a way to honor the depth of my feelings for you. I wanted to be certain that when I finally expressed myself, my words would carry the weight of sincerity, the resonance of truth, and the unwavering devotion of a heart that has loved quietly but profoundly for so long. I wanted to give you more than fleeting words. I wanted to give you the full measure of my heart. I have held back because I wanted to ensure that my love for you was not only deep, but enduring. I needed to understand the scope of my own heart, to know that what I felt was steadfast and true. Every day of quiet reflection, every night of contemplation, every moment of admiration in silence has been a testament to the seriousness of my devotion. I waited because I wanted my love to be worthy of you, to honor the extraordinary person that you are, and to be expressed with clarity, intention, and reverence. Even in my silence, I have been close to you in every thought, in every hope, in every silent wish for your happiness. I have observed your laughter, your kindness, your quiet strength, and the way you touch the lives of those around you. Each of these observations deepened my affection and strengthened my resolve to approach you with words that are meaningful, deliberate, and truthful. My silence was never a barrier. It was preparation. A way of ensuring that the moment of revelation would be worthy of the love I hold for you. I have often imagined what it would be like to speak to you, to reveal my heart without hesitation, and yet every imagined scenario has been tempered by the knowledge that timing matters. Words spoken too soon risk misunderstanding. Declarations made in haste can lose the depth and sincerity they are meant to convey. And so I waited. I waited not because I doubted, but because I revered the significance of what I wished to express. I waited so that when I finally spoke, my words would embody the entirety of my love, undiluted, unwavering, and true. There were moments when I feared that waiting might cause my feelings to be unseen, moments when my heart ached for the courage to speak. Yet even in those moments, I understood that love is not merely about immediate expression. It is about readiness, sincerity, and the integrity of one's devotion. I needed to cultivate a love that is steadfast, not transient, a love that is enduring, not fleeting. And now, having waited, having reflected, having prepared, I am ready to speak to you fully, openly, and without reservation. I want you to know that my admiration for you has never wavered. Every smile, every gesture, every word of yours has left an impression on me, quietly shaping the love that has grown within my heart. I have admired not only who you are, but the way you live, the way you carry yourself, and the way you touch the lives of those around you. In my silence, I have celebrated your presence in my life, and now I wish to honor it with words that reflect the depth of my feelings. You deserve to know that every quiet thought, every unspoken longing, every silent prayer for your well-being has been an act of love. I have remained patient not because my feelings were uncertain, but because I understood the importance of readiness and the power of intention. I wanted to ensure that when I finally spoke, my words would not only express my emotions but also reflect the seriousness, constancy, and devotion with which I hold them. There is a courage in breaking silence, a bravery in offering one's heart fully, without guarantee of response. And yet, I have waited because I believe that love given with thought, care, and integrity is a love that endures. I have grown in patience, reflection, and understanding, all in preparation for this moment, when I can finally speak to you honestly, without reservation, and with a heart wholly committed. I hope you can feel, even in these words, the depth of my admiration and the sincerity of my devotion. Every act of kindness, every supportive gesture, every silent observation has been my way of expressing love when words were insufficient. I have wanted to show you through intention, care, and action that my feelings are not fleeting, that they are profound, and that they are enduring. I waited so that when I spoke, my love would be as complete as it has been in my heart for all this time. You may ask why I could not speak sooner, and I will tell you now it was because I wanted to ensure that the love I offered you would be worthy of you. I wanted to ensure that my words were not hurried, that my expression was deliberate, that my heart was ready to give itself fully. I did not want to risk diminishing what I feel by speaking before I had fully understood the depth and sincerity of my emotions. I wanted my love to be a gift, a truth, and a devotion that could endure, and now, finally, I am ready. I am ready to tell you that my heart has longed for you, admired you, and cared for you in ways words could not fully capture. I am ready to express that every silent moment was a preparation, a rehearsal, and a testament to the constancy of my feelings. I am ready to offer you the love I have nurtured with patience, respect, and unwavering devotion. You deserve to know that my silence was never indifference, never hesitation born of doubt. It was reverence, patience, and care. I waited because you are extraordinary, because you deserve a love that is intentional, enduring, and sincere. I waited because I wanted to ensure that when I spoke, my words would reflect not only my emotions, but my commitment, my respect, and the depth of my admiration. I waited because you deserve nothing less. And now, as I finally break my silence, I want you to know this: I love you. I have loved you in quiet admiration, in unspoken prayer, in the patience of countless silent moments. I love you with a heart that has been carefully nurtured, reflecting, observing, and growing in readiness to offer you a love that is true, steadfast, and entirely devoted. Every word I speak now is the culmination of that quiet devotion, a declaration of a heart that has waited, prepared, and longed for this moment to arrive. I want you to understand that my love is not fleeting, it is enduring. It is not shallow, it is profound. It is not timid, it is bold in its sincerity. I waited so that I could offer you something complete, unwavering, and wholly devoted. I am here now, with my heart in my hands, ready to share every thought, every longing, every feeling that I have held in quiet devotion for so long. You have changed the way I see the world, the way I experience joy, and the way I understand devotion. Your presence has inspired a love that is patient, intentional, and unwavering. You have made every quiet moment worthwhile, every thought of restraint meaningful, and every silent prayer a testament to the depth of my feelings. And now, I am ready to express it all, to let my love reach you in words that have been long prepared, carefully considered, and deeply felt. Finally, I offer you my heart, my words, and my devotion, unreserved and true. I waited because I wanted this love to be worthy of you. And now, after all this time, it is ready to be shared. Know that every silent second, every unspoken longing, every quiet thought of admiration has led to this moment. I am here, I am honest, and I am yours in the sincerity of a love that has waited, grown, and endured.